Alright, welcome back everyone to the channel. Today we have one of the most talked about EVs since it came on the market. It is the Tesla Model 3, the standard range. So this one is only a rear wheel drive car. It has only one motor coming from the rear, of course. It only produces about 283 horsepower, which is still pretty good. Trust me, this car is absolutely no slouch. It's really fun to drive. The pickup is quite fast. Of course, it's not as instant or as quick as the performance or the long range versions because they have a motor in the front and in the back. We're starting today on the exterior of the car because I think that they've done such a good job with the Model 3. The design hasn't changed so much. The biggest thing you'll notice is I believe the headlights might be a little bit different, and it has a chrome delete. So on the previous generation, since this is a 2022 model, the previous generations had chrome on all of the siding here, but now it's all black and it looks so much better. So you can actually take off the caps that Tesla gives you. It might hurt your range slightly, but you have a nice rim underneath should you choose to go that option. Now this car has sensors everywhere around the car. It's watching me right now with its very nice Sentry mode. So if you ever walk by a Tesla and you noticed that the lights flashed and there's like a little red circle in there, well, you're being recorded. The Tesla has engaged its Sentry mode. I really love the rear of the car as well. It's very nice. You know immediately that you're driving behind a Tesla. And as you can see, there is no dual motor badge, so that pretty much confirms it. When you're driving on the road, if you don't see a dual motor badge, chances are it is a real standard drive. Same thing with the Model Y, actually. They come in the same trims with the same drivetrain. So it is super nice. The door handles are flush, very nice, very easy to open. It also has a front trunk with a lot of storage inside of it. It's way better than your Hyundai and Kias, which only give you like a little flap, and that's all you get for your storage. And also the trunk space is quite big as well. This year as well, they included on the standard range version, they included a option, or not an option, but actually it just comes standard to push the button and the tailgate is automatic. Another problem I wanted to point out as well is, so this car was bought in 2022 and it already has condensation in the rear tail light. It's got a little bit of water there that just hasn't come out yet. I don't know if it will. So as far as the condensation goes, or as far as the build quality issues go, that's the only one on this version that I've seen, but there are more out there. The unfortunate thing about Tesla is that the price is quite high. Yes, you get a lot of tech, a lot of features. The car looks really nice. It's really fast, but it has build quality issues. This car only has 13,000 kilometers on it, and already there's condensation in the rear taillight. I'm not sure how I feel about that, and I want to know how you feel about it. Let me know in the comments what you feel about the Tesla's build quality to this date. With that said, we are going to take a look at the interior now, and then we're going to take it for a drive. So this is the interior of the Tesla Model 3. It's super nice, super minimalistic. There is just a screen. There's absolutely no gauge cluster here. And the screen controls everything. There is no physical buttons at all. And also, as you can see here, the nice white interior. I don't know. At first I thought I really wouldn't like a white interior, but now that I've used the car a lot, I think I actually would buy it with a white interior. It's so nice. It's just so unique and so nice. Red interiors are also very nice, but white is something so new and so nice. So as you can see as well, on the newer versions of Tesla, they've done away with that piano black. Now it's just kind of this matte kind of black that's easier to clean, that fingerprints don't stick to. I like that improvement a lot. Tesla actually listened to the majority of voters who complain about that, and they've actually fixed it. It's also got quite a bit of storage. I don't know if the video will do it justice, but this storage is deep. You can put your hand all the way in there. And also you have another storage here, also pretty good. There's little lights. You can't see them right now because it's not at nighttime, but there is little lights that illuminate your storage. This right here is your wireless charging pad. You have two phones that can wireless charge, very nice. It's all nice feeling Alcantara. You also have your gauge controls are here, so your gears, sorry, your gear control is right here. You have your reverse, neutral, drive, and it's also the control. If you tap it down 3 times, you'll send the car into autopilot, which is a very cool feature that we'll talk about in a little bit. You also have your turn signals over here. When they come on, as you can see, you can have the turn signal. Now this infotainment, I think, requires an entire video just by itself, just because of how much things you can do. I'll try to give you a basic rundown very quick, as quick as we can, because this would take, we'd have like a 45-minute video easily if I spent all my time talking about this. So you can go into your drive. You can control everything from your lights, your child lock, your glove box. Your glove box actually is a button, and it opens right up. That's pretty cool. You can also control your Sentry mode. This is also where you control where you want your steering wheel, and then you control it with the buttons, or sorry, not the steering wheel, but this would be the mirrors. But the steering wheel is right here. It's an option too, where you take a look at your little buttons on the steering wheel, and it will go in and out according to what you want. Super cool. You have your pedals and steering. This has no sport acceleration because it is the standard range model. So you have standard, but standard, trust me, you'll see in the video, it takes off. If you push the pedal, it doesn't hold back, not at all. You have your steering mode, which I like to keep it in sport, but you also have standard and comfort. You have your stopping mode, which I really like. You have your hold. So basically, it's like one pedal driving. You think of it as iPedal in the Kia or Hyundai models. You just put your foot on the gas, and when you release, it starts to brake slowly, and it also puts power back into the battery. So win-win. Very nice way to drive. When I go back to a normal car, it'll be very annoying to have to readjust to a brake. I've really enjoyed the luxury of having to just be able to lift my foot off the gas pedal, and that's it. So you also have your lights, your display. You can do trips, you can set your navigation, service, software. We can see all the information about and then you have your Spotify. This is your big navigation screen. If you're going on a road trip, you can take this thing and it'll navigate to every stop and how much you need to charge at every supercharger. It's super cool. You have your nice Spotify. You have to have the premium connectivity. I started using this car without the premium connectivity, and I had the owner reactivate it for me because it's just, the full experience is in the premium connectivity. It does cost $13 a month, but it is a steal because I don't believe there's any cap on data. So you can watch YouTube, Netflix, whatever, as much as you want, stream it as much as you want while the car is stopped, and you don't really get any data limit. So it's super nice, and it's quite fast. I don't really have any loading times, any issues, at least in my area. So you can do your Spotify. You have your arcade, where it's a bunch of games, so when you're charging the car, you could pop open a game and play it. You also have your toy box, which has a bunch of different things like tracks, romance. You could have a sketch pad. You could put your car on Mars if you wanted to. You have a boom box. You have the whoopee cushion, which is funny to mess with people in it. You have your colorizer, where you could change the color of your Tesla. In the little here, it actually doesn't change the exterior color, not yet anyways. You have a browser, you have your energy consumption, you also have a little button, you can have your cameras. You can have these screens on while you're driving. All your information is right here, which you'll see in a second. You also have your climate control, which is really cool. You could adjust it, and you can kind of see where the air is flowing to, right up, right down. You can also adjust fan speed. You have the rear heated seats, which you can turn on and off with the levels. There's actually no control in the rear, so you have no choice. If the person behind you doesn't want a rear heated seat, but you want them to have one, you can just turn them on. They can't really do anything about it. That should do it for the infotainment side of things. Tesla is all in the infotainment, so you'll kind of see it in action hopefully when I'm driving. I'll just want to show you the rear of the car. We'll do a quick rear test as well. The car is quite low, so it's a bit strange to get into. You also have this super nice panoramic sunroof. I love that. And as you can see, I am 5'11" and I fit perfectly. You also have these rear vents that, again, I can turn on and off from the front. Super nice as well. Alright, so now we'll take the car for a drive, and we'll talk more about it. Alright, just a really quick show how you get in and out of the car. There's actually this cool little Tesla key that you have. Well, you actually could use the phone app too, but since this isn't my car, I have to use this. It's an NFC key, and you scan it just right in front of the pillar here, and you can lock it. You can say I just locked the car, or you can unlock it. And then again, you press these door handles, which are really cool to use, push and a pull, and then you just get right in. And then once you're actually in the car, well, you still need this key because you can't start driving until you push it right behind the cup holders. You'll see if I push the brake. Oh, it already detected the card. But usually it'll show you a message that you need to push this card right here, just underneath this armrest here. Once that happens, you're free to drive the car. So with that being said, let's drive the car. All right, on the road in the Tesla Model 3 standard range. Now, let's talk first about how it rides, because that's probably important. I really do feel comfortable in this car. I feel at ease. The suspension is quite good. I don't really feel the bumps so much, even with the smaller tires and the low frame. You are sitting quite low to the ground here. I don't know if the video will do that justice, but we are pretty low to the ground. And as you can see, the computer is kind of picking up humans and different things, and also my speedometer is there. It'll scan the maximum speed limit that I can go, and then just kind of display it on there. And you can see as I put my turn signal on, it comes on. But yeah, the ride's super nice. The steering wheel feels really good. I can't tell if it's bigger or smaller. It feels a bit smaller, but I really like the feel. The leather on the steering wheel is super nice. The seats are very nice too. I did drive this car for a considerable amount of time. As you can see, it started at 100. I have 64 left, and I actually charged it overnight. Something about charging is I charged it using just a wall outlet. In about 12 hours, I got about 20, we'll say 25% battery. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't have to pay for a supercharger, and I got a couple more kilometers out of it. That's pretty worth it. Yeah, back to the driving. The driving feels super good. The takeoff is good. Again, I am only using one pedal to drive. I've not touched the brake at all. When I go to a stop sign, I just kind of release the gas fully, and it'll come to a complete stop, which is super cool. And it's going to be so hard to get used to going back to a normal car. It's also putting power back into the battery. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but when I kind of let go of the gas a little bit, there's like a green line that appears right there that you can kind of see that, okay, it's putting power, a little bit of power back in the battery. I'm not sure how much. Going down a hill, I know, does kind of put more back in there, but still overall very nice. The sound system, I have to mention this right away because I don't want to forget. The sound system in this vehicle is probably one of the top I've heard. So at this price point, you should expect an incredible sound system, but I could see some Kias and Hyundais going for the $60,000, $65,000 mark at the top range, and they do not compete with this sound system. I don't even think they compete with the noise canceling in this car. It's silent, which also helps your sound system, but it is silent. There's barely any road noise. They've done such a good job at like noise cancellation and just complete isolation, and I love it so much. You know, as much as you can say, yes, there are build quality issues with the car, and for $65,000 there shouldn't be, you're completely right. But there's just something about Tesla that makes you want one. It makes me want one. It's just one of the top EV brands. I had to stop because a squirrel almost ran. Oh my god, that was a close one. Good thing this car has good stopping power. Yeah, like I said, there's just something that makes you really want one. It could just be the brand. I'm sure that part of the pricing is the branding and the fact that, you know, a big character like Elon Musk is behind it, but you just can't help yourself. Should be able to give it a little rip here. We're just gonna slow down just a bit, and then boom. Oh my god, holy crap, that's like 80k. I don't really want to go that much faster as there are some police here, and I don't think they want to see me with a camera strapped to my head going 100. Yeah, so the 0-60 time is about 6 seconds, but believe me, it does not feel like that. It feels like 3. So I could imagine what the performance and the long range with the dual motor feels like. It is probably absolute insanity. you really know, you really get moving, and there's almost like no loss of traction either. In the winter, however, I'm not sure. So let's actually talk about how I think this car would perform in the winter. Rear wheel drive is not usually recommended for Canadian winters, because Canadian winters, if you live in Canada, are an absolute frozen hell zone, we'll say, to say the absolute least. I think your winter tires, again, are going to matter a lot, but the car is heavy. The battery in the bottom of this car really pushes the car down, so you might have an advantage there. It also has something called anti-slip, which will kind of help you get unstuck, which not a lot of cars have, and I don't even know if modern EVs have it. So that's pretty cool to have. But again, I would recommend, if you live in Canada and if you have the budget, to go for the all-wheel drive. It's faster, you get longer range, and it'll benefit you in the snow. However, the door handles, they don't change regardless of what trim you're in. You're going to get these door handles that are flush with the body. So, and you have to push and pull out. But however, in the winter, I'm sure that freezes. When we have our big ice storms and our big, whatever it does in the winter, it's going to freeze, and it's going to be an issue. I can already tell. And that's not just a problem that Tesla has. That's a problem that other EVs in the market have as well. I think a good implementation of a door handle heating system would be nice. It doesn't have to be heating the whole time, but just if you could set a schedule when you get into the car to preheat the door handle so that it melts some of the ice and you're not trying to like punch your door handle just to get into it, that would be good. And I could see it coming in the future. Now I will say, compared to other cars, so I can only compare it to the I-pedal from Kia and Hyundai. The one pedal driving the Tesla feels a lot more smooth. What I mean by that is, when you have I-pedal on, you kind of release the brake a little bit. The car kind of brakes slightly more heavier in Kia and Hyundai, whereas this is more of a smooth thing. The passengers can't really tell that I am braking. Maybe it's just a setting that I need to get used to with I-pedal, and I'm just naturally more used to it with Teslas because I have a little bit more time in Teslas than I do in the other two cars. It could be that, but I just feel like it's a little bit more aggressive on the braking side, so that's something to note as well. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the charging. Like, Tesla's supercharging network is pretty much unrivaled. I do like the fact, and I respect Tesla for doing this, for allowing, eventually, I don't know when it's coming, but it is a promise that was made quite a while ago, that the chargers will be, like, all EVs will be able to use the Tesla supercharging network, which is a huge plus for anybody who doesn't have a Tesla. For anybody who does have a Tesla, it's so good. I mean, the charging network is so vast. You can go all the way across Canada, all the way across the US, and you'll have a charging station. Now, I haven't tried this, and I don't think I will be able to, but I'd love to, and if I do, I'm sure going to make a video on it. But I'd love to take a road trip and just see what that's like. Just see what the stop time is like, see how long it takes to really charge, and also see how much the cost is. Obviously, your electric battery fill-up isn't going to be even close to what your gasoline fill-up is, which just that on its own is a huge plus. So I'm going to engage Autopilot quickly here, 2, 3, and now the car will take over itself and will go the max. So I can set the max speed with this little button here, this little scroll wheel here. It'll set its max speed, and it'll kind of just follow the road, but you cannot take your hands off the wheel at any point. If you do, it'll kind of start to scream at you, yell at you, give you a bunch of these bells and alarms and stuff like that, and then it'll bring you to a stop, put its four ways on, and you'll lose the ability, which is nice, but I wouldn't recommend falling asleep with this. There's been times where I've been using this where it kind of goes faster when it shouldn't. It kind of loses the lines in the road, especially driving in Quebec. Our roads are terrible, and you can't really blame it, but that's a good thing. You always have to remain vigilant when it's on. I know they have a full self-driving, which is navigate on autopilot, all that stuff. It is cool. It's a very cool feature. It does cost $19,500 to just add it onto the car. Personally, I don't know if the full self-driving features are worth a $20K upgrade. That's a big up. That's huge. Like, for some people, I guess if you have the budget, it's absolutely worth it. Do it. It's revolutionary. You know, Tesla's going to change the game. Once this thing is actually functional and ready to go and is not running over things that it shouldn't be running over. You can do your own research on that. That's all that I am going to say about that. But once it's there, full self-driving is going to be cool. You can even summon it from your phone. It's very cool. Like, the features are loaded with full self-driving. I can't complain. But is it worth 20K? I'm not so sure yet. I did not get to try it in this car because it does not have it enabled. You have to buy it, and I did not want to be the one to pay the 20K. I'm sure the owner would absolutely love that, but that's not in my budget. I'm going to start by trying to buy an electric vehicle first. Holy moly, these squirrels are gonna... My goodness. I really just have confidence turning into corners with these cars, going on windy roads and going a little bit faster than you should. The car just sticks to the road so well. I have absolutely not had an issue. I drove a little bit in the rain as well. No slipping issues, nothing. But again, that does depend sort of on your tires. It's not all on the vehicle's incredibleness. Some of it will come down to how good your Tesla's tires are. Also, the Model Y shares the same drivetrain. It's just a bit bigger, a little bit more space. There should be a video coming up on the Model Y. If this all goes well, we will have a video on the Model Y performance, so hopefully stay tuned for that, because that will be very cool and very fun to do. I think that's gonna about do it. I really don't want to do it too long. Like I said, there's so much to see and so much to do in a Tesla. I just don't feel like I can cover all of it in one video. If I do get the opportunity, I will do more. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know, do you own a Tesla, or are you thinking about owning a Tesla? If you're in the EV market like myself, are you considering Tesla as one of your options, or is it just way too out of the price point for what you get at the base model? Let me know. I really want to know people's opinions on this. I really want to know if people who own Teslas have any build quality issues at all. I wonder if you go up in model, or like if you get the all-wheel drive or the sport version, does it get better? Does the build quality issues come out less because it's a higher model? You're paying more money, obviously. So let me know all that in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this vehicle. I do really like the Tesla. I wish that they would fix their build quality issues. I think that's all they're missing, and I think they're coming. They haven't been in the market as long as Kia, Hyundai, so their manufacturing capabilities aren't as strong as they would be had they been in the market for, 50 plus years. But it will get there. I'm confident the Tesla can get there, and when it does, it's going to change everything again, just like it did when it came on the market. This is a very impressive vehicle. I do recommend you taking a test drive if you ever get a chance. You will not regret it. It is so fun to drive. I want one myself. I can say that wholeheartedly. I do want one myself. I know people love to hate this vehicle, but trust me, you drive one and you will want one. And if you don't, let me know why in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe. That helps me out more than you know. We're at 38 subscribers, trying to get 40, but I appreciate every single one of you who's went out of your way to press that subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me, and it allows me to continue doing stuff like this. So please click that subscribe button, click that like button, and let me know what you think of the video. With that being said, we will see you next time in the next video with the next car. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.